It's the seventh Moonwalk this year at Inverleith Park in Edinburgh, and thousands are expected to power walk through the streets of Edinburgh across a 13 or 26 mile distance, and they're hoping to raise even more money for Walk the Walk. And joining us on the line is Sally Orr from Walk the Walk to tell us a little bit more about the Edinburgh Moonwalk that's coming up on the 9th of June. So, Sally, good evening. Welcome to the Friday Night Lounge Show live on Radio West Fife.
Good evening. It's lovely for you to have me on. Thank you.
So just tell us, if we don't know about the Edinburgh Moonwalk already, what is the Edinburgh Moonwalk?
The Edinburgh Moonwalk is a night in celebration of everybody uniting from all over Scotland to walk a 13.1 mile or 26.2 miles in aid of breast cancer. It's round Edinburgh, fabulous route round Edinburgh. And as Walk the Walk, we are the organisers of it. We're a grant-making charity, and by that, in Scotland, most of the money raised stays in Scotland, and we grant to where we feel the money is most needed.
And which one's more popular? Is it the half moon or is it the full moon? Are there more people fancy a challenge, or are there actually a lot more people just do the half moon?
No, actually, I think it's really surprising, but it's full moon that we have most people walking, which to me, I mean, when I started, before I worked here, I did the 13, and to me, believe it, that was a major challenge. You know, at that point, I could even walk 2 miles, never mind 13. Honestly, that is absolute truth. Now I walk a lot of marathons, but at that point, I was anti-gym, hated the exercise, and so when I decided to do the moonwalk, my friends didn't believe I'd do it, to be honest. So yes, 26 is most popular. In fact, if people are wanting to do 26, you need to do a block training for it. I mean, it's amazing to do. It's an amazing challenge. And it will close quite soon for that to give people enough time to train. But what I'm passionate about is people doing the half as well. Because if maybe they've done a 5K or a 10K and would like to go, that wee bit extra challenge, then I think they should go for the 13.1 miles.
I see. I think it would be a major push for me, I think, considering my fitness level. So I think I need to do quite a bit of training if I need to do that. Now, speaking of which, when we usually think Edinburgh Moonwalk, we usually think it's just only women could participate, but that's not the case, is it?
No, absolutely not. It's men as well. We have about 1,000 men taking part. And men take part for lots of reasons. They'll take part in memory of someone, they'll take part for the fun, they'll take part to get fit, or they'll take part because they've had breast cancer.
Exactly.
Because men do get breast cancer. And the first man actually I met in Scotland when I started working for Walk the Walk had breast cancer himself.
Right.
So it's just something that we've got to raise awareness for people for men to look out for as well.
Now, basing on the food that you also provide on the night, there's lots of healthy foods there. There's the pasta and rice, I believe, that you provide on the night as well. Walk the Walk isn't just a breast cancer charity, is it?
No, we're a health charity as well. And we also organise the events, and that's why we have Moonwalk London, Moonwalk Edinburgh, and the Moonwalk Iceland. And that's why we raise so much money because of the walkers, but we're so careful with what we spend, and that's how we manage to grant like 80% of all money raised to the chosen charities in Scotland.
And speaking of raising a lot of money for charities and other services, in the last few years, the Edinburgh Moonwalk has raised approximately £14 million since its inception in 2006, thanks to the 60,000 walkers that have taken part. Now,
absolutely,
two things that they have done, if you can tell us a little bit more about that, are two things that they've done with the Western General Hospital in Edinburgh.
Yes, Western General Hospital. What's happened in Western General, in Scotland, Nina, who was our founder, decided that because we grant a lot of money to research down south in England, we decided in Scotland the money should go where will make the most benefit, make the most difference. And when we first went to Western General, it was the breast unit there, the Breast Cancer Institute.
Oh, yes.
And it needed completely renovating, which we then granted money. It was actually Udi Chetty who, it was his dream. So we granted money for that to be done. And then the next bit was needed another theatre. Because people were going through the corridors, so it was much nicer to have a theatre next to the unit. And then just last week, we granted money for a mammography unit.
Ah, I see.
So it was to update the mammography unit. Again, it was outdated. So really, it's all this fabulous updated unit now, which has got like everything that you need. And I must actually put in, as we were last week when we did the launch for the announcement for this grant. The Botanic Gardens, the Royal Botanic Gardens in Edinburgh, covered the whole tree in pink. So actually you can go and see this pink tree that's been done. It's just covered in cloth, a gigantic oak tree. It just looks amazing.
All right.
That was done just to celebrate the Moonwalk, the walkers, and this grant for the mammography unit.
Nice, and Walk the Walk have also made grants to other cancer institutions and charities, Breast Cancer Campaign and the Maggie Care Centres in Falkirk and Glasgow. Yes,
Breast Cancer Campaign they've actually built 4 tissue banks throughout the country, and one of these is in Dundee, and again, it was one of these things that should have been there for years but wasn't.
All right.
Lots of hospitals have like small reserves of tissue samples, but what Breast Cancer Campaign wanted to do was have lots and lots of samples so that scientists and researchers from all over could actually say, right, I need 20 samples of this. So that's now been built, it's open, and it's now open for tissue samples for everyone.
Excellent.
Maggie's, we just have announced about the Larberts Centre, and Maggie's at Gartnavel is now finished, and it's now open for people to go into, which is really funny because as fate would have it, my dad was one of the first people who used it.
Oh, right.
He'd just been diagnosed with cancer, and it just so happened his first chemo was the day after the opening, so yeah, fate can be strange.
Aye, fate's a strange little thing in life, I think we can safely say on that one. Now, Walk the Walk has raised £75 million since its inception in 1997, and we hope it's going to continue doing a lot more. We're running very tight for time for just now, so just tell us, I know there's not many places left on the Edinburgh Moonwalk, but if we want to take part of the Edinburgh Moonwalk, how can we do that?
Just go on to walkthewalk.org. www.walkthewalk.org. But I just need to say the money raised is from people like you and me putting one foot in front of the other, and we need people to keep supporting it. There are places left, and as I say, we do need to have continued support to be able to keep raising this amount of money.
The more the better, essentially, yeah.
The more the better, absolutely. And as I say, there's no big sponsors, it's all just people, wonderful people uniting and putting one foot in front of the other to do it.
Fantastic. Okay, we're going to have to leave it there just now. Sally Orr, thank you very much for coming on to the Friday Night Lounge.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Sally Orr of Walk the Walk, talking about the Edinburgh Moonwalk and the fantastic work that Walk the Walk has done since its inception, since 1997. And if you want to take part in the Edinburgh Moonwalk, you can do that by going to thewalkthewalk.org and just download an application form, or you can even apply online there. So there's more details there for the Edinburgh Moonwalk that's happening on the 9th of June.